Hey guys, it's Chris, and this video is going to be me talking about how I got my acoustic guitar sound in one of my recent posts. I'm going to be using the Audio Technica 831B condenser microphone. It's a little clip-on I have down here. And then I'm going to be running it into a compressor, an EQ, and a reverb. So it's going to be like a really basic signal chain. The whole idea is just learning how to like tame down a microphone that you might be using so that you can get an acoustic to use for maybe your posting, or just have some fun sounds to maybe try different ideas with, because acoustics offer a lot of different tonalities that don't exist maybe on an electric guitar, that even if it's clean. So yeah, let me show you guys how I did that. All right guys, so I've got my condenser microphone clipped on now. It's turned on. I've got the AA battery in there. It's a single one, and I've turned it on, but there's two different on settings. There's a flat on, and then there's also going to be a low cut on. So I've had it on the low cut. So that's going to allow me to just take out some of the excess lows that sometimes live in acoustic guitars. So now that I've got it on, it's just the basic microphone. This is the sound. It's not very powerful. It's not pushing the preamp very hard for how much sensitivity I'm using. So this is just kind of how it sounds naturally. So that's kind of the general vibe of this mic on this guitar, clipped at this distance. I just like this distance, so that's what I did. All right, so this is the natural sound of it. I'm going to turn around real quick, and I'm going to add each layer that I did, so then that way you guys can hear the difference that it makes when I add each piece. The first thing that I added was a tube EQ, like kind of just like a tube EQ. I used a UA 610B. This allowed me to get a little bit more volume and tube harmonic and kind of some of the higher notes. So I really like how it kind of just enhanced that kind of a lot. So I'm going to turn that on, and then you're going to see the difference. So this is before me having it on, and then let's throw it on. With that UA 610B on, as you can see, we've already got a lot of volume gain. That sounds really nice. Ooh, bumped the microphone. And so while I really do like this sound, it still was kind of lacking a few things. So I threw it into the LA2A. This was just to even out some picking. This is compression at a 3:1 ratio. I like this ratio because it's not too dense and it doesn't make everything sound like it's pumping. It just kind of evens out some quiet picking versus some strumming. I love the low end that this adds. But at the same time, I have to be very careful with it because I don't want it to turn into something that I can't control, because that very easily happens with acoustic guitars. Once they resonate, once you start strumming, the body starts moving, the top starts moving, and then we start getting a lot of sound. So we got to be careful with that. So right now, it's sounding pretty good though. I'm really happy with like that general vibe. Sounds very full, and it sounds like it's always going to be bumping this mic. I'm still getting used to it. I've only actually had it on here a few days, but I'm really glad to do this video for you guys. But anyway, so that's a good starting point for me. So now I'm going to add in the next part and just kind of EQ off a little bit of the lows. And in this, I cut back a little bit of the 200 hertz. This is a Mahogany body guitar, so it's got a little bit of extra low mids that sometimes just get a little cloudier. So I'm gonna throw that in there. I'm gonna throw in the Pultec that takes that. So I'm gonna throw that in. And you hear that more the D string and the G string having more of a resonance throughout the whole tonality. So that is really something that, really enhances the acoustic sound. I like how even and how close to the real guitar it almost sounds like. The higher strings, They almost have like a little bit of a nylon type vibe, which I kind of like. I could have added a little more high end on the EQ to this, like in the 12K area or maybe the 8K area, and got a little more of that shimmer and that air that kind of comes up in acoustics. But I left it just as it was because I kind of liked how it kind of smoothed out the sound and it sounded kind of cool. So now I'm going to throw in the reverb because no one wants to hear an acoustic with nothing smoothing it out, all the time. So I'm going to throw in a reverb and let you kind of hear what I was going for. So this is some plate reverb, and here we are. It's fast, it's articulate, and it still gives me the ability to play, slower stuff and get a great tone. So something like that's going to sound good, and something as simple as, that's going to sound really good too. Obviously, with acoustics, you got to control your picking as much as you can because that dynamic that they have is part of their special character. So again, I didn't want to add too much compression. So if I strum too hard, I'll get a lot of kind of almost feedback from the top and get a lot of low end kind of bleeding through. So again, always taking care to play carefully and do that the best that you can. So this is how I got the sound on that one post, and I just wanted to answer that for you guys because you guys are super cool and said that you would like to see a video on this. If you have any questions or anything, leave it in the comments. Leave me a comment about it. Send me a message. I'm always interested in, all the projects you guys are working on. People constantly tell me about, this information helping them with maybe something they're personally working on in their musical life. And I love knowing that I can be a part of your guys' musical life because so many people on here on, Facebook, YouTube, all these places have done so much for me. So just wanted to say thanks to you guys and look forward to making another video for you guys. So leave questions and comments. And if you like it, subscribe or follow me here on IG. Enjoy.